Hey there. Do you have a small business selling products or are in the process of starting a business and you were told you needed to get this thing called a resale certificate? Well, if you have and you aren't exactly sure what this is, you definitely need to stick around because I will tell you more about how a resale certificate can greatly improve your cash flow. Okay, to start off, at its most basic level, a resale certificate, which depending on the state you're in might be called a reseller permit, sales tax exemption license, resale license, or something like that. But this document allows you to buy the goods you're planning to sell without shelling out the cash for sales tax. Wait, what? Is this legal? Yep. As a business, the stuff you buy to resell can be purchased tax-free provided you give the proper documentation to your vendor, which is the resale certificate. The reason businesses are allowed to buy products they resell without paying sales tax makes a lot of sense. So picture this. If you're running a bookstore and you had to shell out for sales tax every time you bought books from your supplier, and then again for the sales tax on the profit of those books, it would be super complicated. Plus, while those books sat there on the shelf waiting for someone to buy them, you would end up having a ton of money tied up just sitting there doing nothing. So before we go too much further, I should explain the difference between a resale certificate and a seller's permit. And these are commonly mixed up terms, and while they are somewhat related, they are different. So I've explained that the resale certificate lets you purchase inventory without paying sales tax from a wholesaler. But the seller's permit is a required registration in most states that allows you to legally sell taxable items and collect the sales tax. In some states, it might be called a sales tax permit or a sales tax license, but regardless of the name, if you're planning to sell products and you're in a state with a sales tax, you'll be required to have this permit. So the way this works, and going back to our bookstore, with the resale certificate, you skip paying the sales tax when buying inventory to resell. Then, when you sell the book, the customer pays the sales tax on the fully marked up value of the book. Then, typically at the end of the month for most states, you send the collected sales tax money to the state. Okay, I think we have a handle on why the resale certificate is so important. Now, let's talk about how to get one. And I won't go into the specifics of each state because this video would take forever, but head over to startingyourbusiness.com to get step-by-step instructions for your state. Okay, the general process of getting a resale certificate starts with getting in touch with your state's tax authority. Usually they're going to be called something like the Department of Revenue or Department of Taxation, so you can register for a seller's permit. So you cannot get a resale certificate until you have registered for your seller's permit, because on the seller's permit, the state will assign a state tax ID number that will go on your resale certificate. Then, to get a resale certificate, some states will have you print the certificate directly from your online account, while for others, you're going to just fill out a form. And you may be wondering what's the catch here, but it's really this simple. Now, whenever you're setting up an account with your wholesaler, they should ask for your resale certificate. Now, vendors are not required to accept one, but it's pretty rare that they don't. I've had a lot of clients ask where they are supposed to send the resale certificate after filling it out, but you only need to send it to your vendor when they ask you for one. You're not going to send it to the state. The responsibility of the sales tax exemptions are going to be on the wholesaler. Before wrapping things up, there are a few tips about the resale certificate that I think you should probably know about. First and foremost, beware of websites that charge a fee to obtain a resale certificate. You shouldn't spend a penny to get this document, so be sure to use your state's official tax authority website when applying. Number two is that it's important to have your resale certificate in hand before making any tax-free purchases. If you end up paying sales tax on items intended for resale, it's not really the end of the world. You just apply for a credit for any future sales tax due with the state. This process can be a little cumbersome in some places, but it's not really a big deal. And then last, be sure to only use your resale certificate for items that are going to be resold. So for instance, you can't use a resale certificate to buy office supplies like pens and copy paper that are going to be used in your daily operations. If you're caught, you are on the hook for the unpaid sales tax on top of any penalties and fees. So that finishes up this video on the resale certificate. I hope you have a better understanding of what a resale certificate is, why it's important for your business, and the steps that you need to take to obtain one. Like I said earlier, if you're looking for the specifics of how to get a resale certificate in your state, I have the link to startingyourbusiness.com in the comments. Also, if you have a question, please ask away. Thanks for watching.